you do that? Did you do that?
Yeah.
You've done a good job.
He's obviously getting himself overexcited by putting this amount of foam on.
I quite like the French. I quite see myself being like the French, where we all go down there. Drilling is done. What a relief. So pleased. Well done, everybody. Great effort. Everything's back. Just getting the forklift back now. Everything else has come back, and the big washing campaign will start. And there's great talk about getting the tractors down to London after they've been washed, and all the guys are sort of excited, you know, for the future of farming to make a stand to demonstrate how. And there's talk for it now. They're trying to simmer that down and stop us all going down there and do it a slightly different way. So waiting to see what comes in the next week or so, what action needs to be taken, whether it's just to go in person or whether it's going to be more of a sort of a political thing rather than a sort of physical, in the sense of being like the French. I quite like the French. I quite see myself being like the French, where we all go down there. But anyway, so yeah, cousin Michael is exhausted now. He's ready for a holiday, so going to have to hopefully get the pre-em spraying done. Kieran and Glenn's up in Lincolnshire and Kieran's down here. They're both putting the pre-em on and putting on some post-ems. So, and the other two sprayers, once they got these drills off, and they'll get their trails on and start doing that in the next sort of 7 to 10 days. We should get caught up on spraying, and yeah, a completely different time, thank goodness. Really focus on the next stage, which is quite exciting. The thing about farming is you can only do really well as long as you've done a lot of planning. So out of the seasons, when I do all the planning, making sure everything's right, getting ready for next year. So it's almost like if you only do a Christmas festival, you start planning the day after. So we've now got to sit down next week, get everybody together, start working out what worked, what didn't work, and then putting in plans in place of what we're going to do to make some improvements. And everybody gets an opportunity to put their pennies worth in and see what cost effectively we can do to make things better. Don't want to keep doing the same thing, getting the same results. And then we'll start looking at advertising for people for next summer and that. So yeah, it's quite a good time actually. I quite enjoy this time. Want to get rested. So let's see what today brings. So Trump is back. So we've got to find out what's going to happen, what the effects are of Trump now president of America, and how that's going to affect world trade, prices of corn, maybe the wars elsewhere in the world, etc. Politically, I think that's where we see the biggest changes in commodity prices. So it'll be interesting to see how the markets are going to react. And what's got coming. Stores are full, ready to start out loading. So, yeah, we're ready.
Drilling season 2024, you can do one. Over and out.
So here we are. Drilling is finished. The big wash starts. Machinery's all on the wash bay now. Washing all the mud off, got 2 power washers. Tom's obviously decided to come out and do some washing for 2 plant. We hired a machine off them so we could do really smart actually. Surprising how smart these machines are. When you get to hire new stuff, you get to actually almost demo them, in the sense that you get to see what the new machines are like, and there's always a constant improvement. And we're a bit of a fan of the JCB forklifts. We've got 3 of them of this type. But yeah, he's obviously getting himself overexcited by putting this amount of foam on. So he's getting it all nice and clean, so it can go back to 2 plants on a lorry. We've had that for quite a few weeks now, mostly because we weren't drilling. I think it sat there for a month before we got to use it. There's another one of ours. I think that one's already done about 11,000 hours. Clearing up, making a lot of mud now. Everywhere you look, washing something down, a lot of mud coming off everything.
How are we getting on? You know it has to be immaculate, don't you?
Yeah.
Because it's got to go. It's got to go to. It's going to France. So we can't have any. If they find any mud in the gaps or anywhere, they'll, you know, even they'll go all round here.
Yeah.
And they'll say no. We have to get DEFRA out to write a ticket to say it's clean. Yeah, it's cold today. I don't know what temperature it is. It's actually cold. It's the first day I think I feel the chill getting in my bones. But then bear in mind, last week I was in 34 degrees. I suppose that's probably right. I have to start turning the heating on in the house, I think. All right, let's see what's happening now, because we're washing everything down, starting to get everything ready for MOTs. Got one truck that's gone off for an MOT now. I don't know what's wrong with this one. Is the pin bad?
No, brand new.
Okay. Oh, I mean, you've made it brand new, have you? Oh, yeah.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Good?
Well, actually, Raymond, you've done quite a good job there. Did you do that? Did you do that?
Yeah.
You've done a good job. So this bit had broken off, hadn't it?
Yeah, is here good.
Yeah.
New metal, weld.
And then you get the bolt out.
Yeah, bolts, yes.
You wound it out.
Yeah, well.
Oh, yeah, okay. And we have a new bolt?
Yes, new bolts, yeah.
Okay, good. And is this fixed?
No, cable, no.
Right. Tom, did you find a handbrake cable? It's ordered. So the handbrake cable broke, isn't it? The Back to the Future car handbrake cable broke, so you found one, though. What was it? Oh.
Yeah, stop it here.
Oh. So just the wire had frayed on the end.
Need all cables new.
Okay.
Yeah, now need good.
No, okay.
Our year it need new.
Okay. When's it coming?
Yeah, 21.
How long? Oh, I thought you said 25 days.
Right.
So we're trying to get caught up now, because basically, because we finished drilling, everything's had a tough time. Yeah, we just got to go for everything, just start knocking out, getting everything back as it is. Then we start bringing everything, we start doing Tilly testing, checking, like that's the MOT on tractors and trailers and implements. We do everything, and then we just start going for everything, making lists of everything that's not right. Like Sandy's doing lists on the tractors, the faults we've got, because they're under warranty. So then we'll present that to Chandlers. They'll come in and start putting them right. Off-hiring stuff, so we're starting to off-hire trailers and diggers and that sort of thing. So that's all being off-hiring forklifts. So we'll get sort of back. Then we'll get into 3 diggers. We're going to start doing finishing the grain store. Then we're going to start digging ditches. We're going to look at a flail that can go on a digger, so that we can start mulching in front. Because a lot of the problem we've got now is we've got ditches where we've got hedges which are growing on both sides, and we've got to take one out so we can clean the ditch out. So we'll start doing that now. In a much nicer time, the guys are now wanting to go down to a 4-day week, so they'll do their allotted 40 hours in 4 days, so 10 hours a day. Then they'll have the 5th day off. It means they get a bit more time with the family to catch up with doing things, whatever. It doesn't make any difference to their take-home pay, but we'll do that now through till February. So they'll get, I suppose, 3-4 months of 4-day weeks, which is good. Gives them a rest, and then we'll just concentrate on getting everything cleaned down, making some repairs, doing some gates, fencing, that type of thing. Estate maintenance. This is the time, to do estate maintenance. There's a lot of estate maintenance to do. We're very keen on ditching and putting gates in and that sort of thing. So I know there's a couple of gates which have got damaged in the pursuit of drilling that Raymond told me about this morning, so we'll have to go and sort them out. So yeah, big wash now. There'll be guys on power washers for the next month, just cleaning. We've got to clean the combines down. Then we'll hopefully start to get the store ready, and we'll start looking at concreting. I want to start doing the concreting ourselves, which Chris is very anxious about. But I said no. The farm team will be good. We'll get the concreting done. God, I can't wait for the concreting to be done. Just can't wait. So fortunately, Simon Pelly from S&A came here yesterday. Well, I didn't actually get to see him as it turned out. But so we've got a couple of staunching still to do. So this is the spray shed. Now it's been panelled and starting to create a shape. You can see it. So this is the spray shed. So that's the entrance in. So sprayer will come in there, and then they'll be in here, and this will be one of those floors with a tank in it. So when they're filling up, it's, one for a better word, bunded. So then they'll be able to capture any spills or anything like that. And actually, if you can picture there's a sprayer there and say a sprayer there, it's actually really quite big. You know, have the racking down the sides. We're going to have the water tank out the back there. We're going to pipe that in and bring the water in, so we don't have that taking up unnecessary space. The waste handling we're going to deal with on the opposite side. So we'll come out the door and we'll have to put it into a compactor or something like that. And we should have then enough room to stack the cardboard baled or the plastic, whatever, inside the shed. And then when we've got enough, we can have it sent away. So this is actually going to be a really nice shed, considering we're in a container just there. As an example, what we're operating out of today to this, actually we can bring the sprayers in. There's enough room either side as well, so if we want to have more shelving down there, more chemicals, IBCs, etc., because now we're starting to move towards the IBC type system, especially with bulk chemicals like Roundup and manganese and other nutrients, etc. So this will be panelled off, and then this is going to be the main part of the shed of dreams. So going in here, which, you know, could be a future workshop. So we're panelling around the outside, take a bit of weight. We could put the bags of seed in here in the summer when all the machinery's out. You look across at the combine headers, which are waiting eagerly to come in. You can see actually how much room they take up in storage terms. So when this shed actually gets built, you know, further out, they'll all be sat at the top end. They're living at the top end permanently, and then each machine will have its own bay all the way down the shed and back up, and there'll be a central aisle up the middle where we can come in and out and go out the doorways, doorway there and a doorway there. So they've actually got that doorway in the wrong place, because it should be drive through and drive out in a straight line. So gonna have to tell them that. They've made a blunder there. But anyway, that aside, yeah, I think when he said he's going to panel this off next week, put a new roof on. So there's all the netting, so when they can work safely. If they do slip and fall, the worst that's going to happen is they're going to fall into the net. It's going to protect them. So that's actually a lot of money that costs to have that put up. So we'll get that roof on, I'll make that dry, then we can start thinking about coming in here to concrete it ourselves. Chris is horrified of the idea that we're all going to get in here and start concreting this, but there's plenty of us. So we'll just have to learn how to do it. I've got a friend, Gordon, he does it on his farm, and he's got half the equipment, but we're going to hire the equipment in and then get stuck into it. Start doing that, then we can start doing the outsides and start doing the landscaping. There's quite a lot of work still to do. It's actually sitting in a really nice place. When it was a grass field, I stood out here originally, it's very difficult to sort of picture how it's going to look, but now we've done it, looking around the yard and how it's structured, it's going to be good. Slow but sure. Yeah, nice to see the fields there. The feeling of being drilled up, I cannot tell you the relief. It is extraordinary. I must have rung Cousin Michael about 5 times, said, you know, we're finished drilling. Just so, it's such a momentous weight off our shoulders. I mean, last year it never ended. And now, you know, as I said, they can go to a 4-day week, they can spend time with the families, that sort of thing. We can just concentrate on machinery repairs, think about actually, you know, the future plans, etc., which is very difficult to do when you're in the midst of the fight, and every day you think it's going to be the day you might be able to go or might be able to do something. We can actually have some proper thinking time and get on with some of these jobs, and cutting costs out the business by doing some of the jobs ourselves. You know, that's going to make a difference. We haven't been able to do that for a long time because there's been sugar beet, potatoes, whatever. We never had the chance to stop, and now we're actually going to be able to save money, one for a better word, by not spending money. Right, so this we put this in. So if the water came down the drives or off the main highway and started to come down here, we didn't want to have any of the stores or the offices or anything flooding. So we effectively put this in. And the reality is it's never been used to in full, but what we bought these, they're really expensive. I forget now how much they were, but they're like £450 each, and they're not very big. And when you see how many they are, you realise we're running into thousands of pounds, and the size just gave way, and they just broke. And then the metal lids that sit on the top, and they just broke the edges off, and then they started collapsing in. And it's a really poor make. David, can you remember who makes this? It was printed on top of the lids, wasn't it? Oh. Right. Anyway, so we've taken them out, and then we bought something different over here. So we bought these. So they're supposed to deal with a surprising amount of rainfall. You can't imagine a trench that wide and then suddenly have a lid like this, but the quantity of water which is coming down here is relatively minor, as it turns out. So we're going to put these in, then we'll have to dry lean them in, concrete them in, and make good. The heating's on.
Heating's on. Pressure pumps in, underneath, plumbed in.
What's happening here?
So the doors are going here.
I'm pleased that you tidy up. I've obviously got you trained. Well, normally a builder would pile it up in the middle of the floor, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they would. Clean site, happy site.
Yeah. No, I think what you mean is happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
I don't know in this particular situation, it's probably concrete on here, but when I first came to this house in 99 or whatever, and we dug up some of the floors, under the tiles was soil.
Yeah, it will be. That's how it is.
I'm fairly confident there's concrete under there.
Well, there might be something, but I wouldn't say it's too good.
Well, it's not damp.
No, it's dried out now. This was all damp.
Right.
So we're going to blackjack it
Yeah.
with bitumen membrane, and
There's actually
then
quite a rise there, you know. I can feel it in the floor.
it's there over there and drop down at the bottom there.
Right.
Then we'll self-level it.
You know that we cut a doorway in there once, and then it never really came right. It kept coming down there.
Yeah. If you break through, if they broke through below it,
Yeah.
then it could have just got rid of the
Is
sort of,
Can you think about that?
yeah, what, having a look at it?
Yeah. It was just where they cut that doorway in the
Yeah,
past.
we'll have a look.
Oh, okay. Just on that wall?
Yep, that's it. Yeah.
What's the thinking going on there then? So he's kept that bit quiet. Hello. All right. Oh, that looks nice. What's going on there then? We've got like some kind of tropical environment going on.
Home from home or something.
He's a sneaky rascal. That's not changing, is it?
Yeah, that is.
Have you ordered them?
Yeah, today.
Have we paid for them?
Today.
All right. On credit card?
Yeah, you can go left.
Oh, well done.
See, that's all you've got to remember.
That's all I'm worried about.
Yeah, so you just got to make sure we go left.
I'm a point collector. Is he here?
He's gone out.
Oh, I want to talk
Bicycle.
to you about this wallpaper that's
Bicycle ride.
It's got snuck on. I know what he'll say to me. He'll say, "Oh, don't worry. When I'm dead and gone, you can have it any way you want it to be." It's all about timing, I'll tell you.
Yeah, that's all it is at the moment. Yeah.
Little devil. Made sure I nipped off somewhere, hadn't it?
Yeah, you're on holiday.
Yeah. This looks well, doesn't it? How long?
We're finished.
Yeah.
Yeah, a week or so, 2 weeks. Painting to be done. And then
Can't be 2 weeks.
it won't be for us inside. Be painters and everything will be.
Yeah.
They still got to decorate upstairs, downstairs. We've got the floor to lay. Ordered that.
Yeah.
So the engineer floors be here Wednesday.
Right.
Just get an architrave, seal the floor.
Yeah.
And then we'll just
Big tidy up.
big tidy up.
8th of November, midday. Took the guys out last night, went to great pub, the Rupert Brook in Grantchester, where a pal of mine, Pasky, we were at school together, he's now running and owning. And took all the drill team there, and we basically had steak, etc., and a dessert, and had a few laughs just to celebrate the fact that we finished drilling and the tremendous work they did while I was away. In particular, just to put it into a nutshell, they within the period, the sort of the day or two before I went to when I got back, they'd put 4,700 acres in the ground, and in good conditions in relative terms, and that is a tremendous achievement in in anybody's book. And Michael had the foresight to get somebody he knew in to come with their the Ward family with their, which isn't a relationship actually to his father-in-law, but another Ward came in with a quad track and an Avatar, and it just made a difference. And what was amazing was that we got all these different drills. So we've got a power combination, we've got the Sprinter 12, we've got 2 Certos, we've got the wet weather 6 metre, wet weather 12 metre, and then we've got our bean drill, and then we had this Avatar, and not one drill was the answer to the drilling. There were some, for example, the Avatar could do the guts of the field, the Sprinter might be able to do the guts of the field but couldn't do the headlands. The Avatar couldn't do the outside pass where we'd subsoil to take out the hedge cutter wheelings, which is a real problem because of the tight timeline of the 1st September hedge cutting date. They're then driving on cultivated land. We're then having to go to pull it out afterwards to take the wheelings out, which then was fouling up the drills, which meant the Avatar wouldn't run. So we're having to send in small drills. So we never had one drill that fits all. And I don't think I've ever experienced a year where I've actually had to have so many different types of drills. And I probably never had so many different types. I probably didn't get on as well. But I think the fact we had so many different, and it's a, it's a thought, do we add an Avatar, for example, to the fleet? Do we get rid of a Certo? That sort of thing. Replace it with an Avatar. These are some of the things we're going to think about. But I think we're going to have a multitude of drills and things. There might be another year where everything runs with the Certos and we don't need it. But actually, we just don't know what next year is going to bring. We've got 2 bad years now that we've had to deal with. So it feels a lot longer for me for now. I mean, this, I think, is potentially going to be the first winter we're going to have to actually to have a rest, one for a better word, which would be nice. But so I was pleased to share that time with them last night, and just a small thank you. Got the Christmas meal now organised. Can't believe it's November. We're all talking about Christmas already and booking the Christmas dinner. I think we've got about 52 people coming for Christmas dinner, so getting that organised and block booked a pub to do that. So yeah, questions that have come through, ever such nice comments, and I know Michael really appreciates it because he really went out of his way and he did a great job, and great family and great team. I think that's effectively what it shows, is that PX Farms might look like just one person being me, but there are 51 people totally employed and 32 people full time, and actually without everybody, there is no PX Farms. I'd only be able to manage sub 1,000 acres, So actually, the team is what it's really all about, and grateful to them, everything they're doing, and also the way the business is structured that allowed me to go away during that time. And it was a very difficult thing to do, and being away. I think if I went on holiday now, I'd actually have a much better holiday, mainly because you wouldn't be fretting about things, but actually, the time when you can go with the children is guided by half terms and holidays. So anyway, going with some of the questions. I can't tell you the answer to Wardy's eyebrows, but it could be that he's actually having a facelift, but he's doing it in 2 halves, so that's why he's got one eyebrow higher than the other. We have to perhaps have a whip round it so we can get him the other side lifted. Somebody's put on here sort of a rather unpleasant negative comment for whatever reason about farmers complaining about having to pay tax and inheritance, and never see a farmer in a bicycle, never see a farmer in a food bank, etc. I think what people like that don't really actually understand is that the farming is a generational business as opposed to a business that you do just for your time. And actually, there's a lot of people who are incredibly thoughtful to the next generation. They are not taking it just for themselves. They're not spending the money. They're always thinking about the future, and they're probably not having the best life because of that. And so it's all about the generation to come and the generation after that as a rule, and that's how trusts are mostly structured. So the one thing that farming struggles with is if a business, for example, has an increase in tax or costs, they put it on the product that they're manufacturing and then they charge more. That's in simplistic terms. But in farming terms, we're on a world market. So you start to get more pressures internally by the UK government that makes us more inefficient. We can't just put up the price of grain, etc. We still have to have the limitations of what we produce according to the weather and the land type. And we can't just push it up and suddenly say, well, that's okay, I've got an increase of 10% in tax, etc. You know, okay, you're going to give me 10 years to pay it off, but if you've got to pay 10 million, for example, off, you've got to find $1 million a year. The business isn't generating that returns on the asset in 2% return. So actually, it can't be done. The only way is to sell, which means the next generation suffers. So I think it's a fascinating industry where the way it's structured, that it's all about other people, and we're only custodians. And so that's why there's so much upset about this tax, because if it was just about the money, people would sell up and spend it. And that's not what it's about. It's about gifting it to the next one. But, you know, the fundamental is they're producing food. And people in farming, the whole mindset is about producing food to feed people and the environment. That's how they're geared, that's how we're motivated. And it's about looking after everybody else. And it's about making sure there's continuity of food supply by doing it generationally. So you tax us like that on death, which I think is an incredibly cruel tax. Taxing people on profits is one thing. Taxing people on death is something else. Actually, you are going to just be disrupting your own food supply, your own security, and your own futures. Because children are already starting to make their own minds up not to go into farming because it isn't making enough returns. They're going off to do other things. So actually, if you've lost 34% of farmers since 2001 when DEFRA was formed, just when there's been a change in how the government looked at farming, you've lost that many people. You're going to see an increase in it in 3 years' time. If 50% of farmers in the UK are going to be over the age of retirement, you've got an incoming problem, which means, yes, you might get some short-term gain on some tax, but actually the reality is you are steering people away from farming, you're steering the people away from production and from the environmental measures and then away from food security. I think it's a foolish idea. I think it's very short-minded, tremendously damaging. And that's why farmers are upset. And I rather hope that the Labour just says, actually, you know, that wasn't the best idea. We're going to pull back on that. And if they're mostly worried about these individuals coming in and buying lots of farmland up and using it as a tax hurdle, well, people like me rely on those people because actually I farm for them. So they are actually also a customer. So I do need them to come in and buy land so that actually I can grow the business that I'm doing. I can employ 51 people. I mean, that's 50 people, for example, I'm employing. Well, if there's 4 people in a family, that's 200 people that are relying on this farming business, producing food, you know, and also looking after them as a family and their children. So it's an important role. So actually, you know, as somebody in an area, we are contributing locally to housing and to food and to schools, etc. We're an important fabric of society. Anyway, while I was this morning, I thought we're just looking at we always do an annual increase in wages, etc., performance reviews, and so I just wanted to find out exactly what impact we'd had on the budget and of today's terms, not the future, not the APR of the future, but today. So the contribution change on the NI, on employers only, is just shy of 15,000, and I beg your pardon, sorry, it's 21,000. Sorry, it's 21,000. So, and with the national minimum wage, if you apply that across the full-time people alone, not all the other people in the business, which is number 20, That is an increase of 76,000. So in all, we've got effectively £97,000, which is increase just on that budget, just on the wages from what they've done. That is an enormous amount of money that I've now got to find to stand still. Or you've got to find effectively 3 people which you don't want to employ anymore so that you stand still. That's the detrimental effect. On the BPS angle, well, with the BPS cut to go down to a maximum figure from the way we've got it budgeted over the next year or two, that is, for us, that's a big hit of over 200k. So overall, this budget was a £300,000 problem, not taking into account the future. But because I bought the family farm from my father and my sister, the APR issue has gone from my father, that I bought in April, on the 8th of April this year. And actually then it will be for my children. Now, I've got time to think this through and what we're going to do, and it will very much depend, of course, on what they want to do in terms of if they want to farm or not. So we'll deal with that. But the immediate problem is what worries me is that I've got to find effectively 300k that just happened, and that's coming at me with under 12 months without me having any time to consider or have another harvest or plan or anything, because I'm already in a cycle. Farming's already happened, it's already drilled, we already know where we're going.